Welcome to the One Girl Travel Podcast, episode number 99.
Welcome to the One Girl Travel Podcast, your passport to the world of solo travel, with certified life and travel coach, Alessia Tenebruso. Join Alessia as she shares her own journey of self-discovery through solo travel, while also focusing on topics such as life coaching insights and travel tips along the way. Now, here's your host, Alessia Tenebruso.
Welcome to episode number 99 of the One Girl Travel Podcast. It's been a while. It's been way too long. I'm sorry it took me this long to get back here. This year has been a full year. It has been a heavy year. It has been a challenging year. It has been a year of growth and learning, and it takes its toll, right? Like when things don't feel like they're going the way that you planned, it can be discouraging and it can feel defeating and frustrating and all the things. And I allowed my emotions from different experiences that happened this year where I didn't feel like they were good enough or that they were worthy or that, I felt confused about, and I allowed those emotions to linger for too long to impact the way I show up, the way I create, the way I show up for my life, for my business. It really impacted everything. And what I realized, like this weekend, actually, I had this breakthrough, thankfully. It's been on its way, and it finally kind of happened this weekend where I just had enough. I was so sick of myself. I was so sick of waiting and sick of being the person that holds myself back. Nobody else is holding me back. I'm holding me back. And I'm holding myself back because I guess ultimately I didn't feel good enough. I let so many outside factors impact how I felt about myself and my business and how I did things that it just made me not show up. I didn't have it in me to show up. And that also led to feeling embarrassed and frustrated and angry at myself and just all these things. And if you notice, it's like one emotion and negative thought leads to another and leads to inaction, and then that leads to more frustration. And it's just this cycle that keeps happening. And it's been happening for what feels like this entire year. And I'm not saying that there weren't good things that happened this year, but I am saying that this year was challenging. And it's one thing to come on here and share positivity and good things and tips and happy things and all of that. But it's another to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and say, I don't I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't feel good enough all the time, and I'm frustrated with myself. And that is what I am here to say today, because if I don't talk about it, how do I move on from it? How do I show up and be authentic when I'm not talking about the thing that has been impacting me so significantly this year? And the thing that's been stopping me from showing up. And I love showing up. I love doing the podcast. I love making videos. I love creating content. I love doing the newsletter. And I have held myself back from doing those things because of how I feel. And enough's enough. When you have these emotions that come up, that's fine. Feel the emotions. Allow them to exist. But then move on from those emotions. What I did was I held on to those emotions, and I held on to them so tight that led to more feelings and more emotions and more inaction, because it just created this cycle of just not being good enough and being unsure and all the things. And I realized that emotions are just temporary. They don't need to last for a year. You can feel disappointed or annoyed or maybe not good enough for a moment, and you can allow yourself to sit with that. But then it's a matter of moving on and changing your thoughts and feeling better, and stop beating yourself up and giving yourself the permission to stop beating yourself up, because that doesn't help anything. that just keeps you stuck and held back. And I don't want, if I can share how I'm feeling and how I'm navigating this and hopefully help somebody else that's in that position, then it was all worth it, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do here today. And the reason why this really came up for me was the November newsletter. If you've noticed, it didn't come out on November 1st. Actually, as I'm recording this, it hasn't come out yet. And that's like the first time I ever didn't publish it on at least within the first few days of the month. And I love creating that newsletter. That newsletter is my baby. I am passionate about creating it. But this month, as I was sitting down trying to create it, I felt nothing. I felt like I had nothing to say. I felt like anything I put in there was not impactful or good enough. And that led me to not creating anything and not sending it out. And then I really beat myself up about it because I didn't get that out. Oh my gosh, I truly beat myself up about it. I couldn't believe I allowed that to happen. I felt so disappointed in myself and frustrated. And that's what led me to literally a conversation out loud with myself yesterday. I was in my car and I thought about calling my best friend, but wasn't sure if she was working. So I needed to talk about it. I needed to say it out loud. And I was driving and finally I said, like, enough's enough. You're not happy with how things are going right now. You need to do something about it. You can't keep doing the same thing and hope that something changes. You need to change. You need to trust yourself. You need to let go of these feelings of not enoughness or insecurity or doubt and move forward because you know what you're doing. And I told myself, like, this was yesterday. I'm like, that's it. Like, this is the last day we're doing this because we have goals we need to reach. And I'm done with this bullshit and this freaking cycle that keeps happening and not getting me to where I want to go and holding myself back. And I said, I'm done. I'm done. I am done questioning myself or not taking action when I know I need to or want to. And then I second guess it and then I don't. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going to show up. I'm just going to show up no matter what, no matter how I feel, because as a business owner, your feelings don't get to dictate how you run your business. Your business is a business. And even though my business is largely me, I can't allow my feelings, my emotions to affect how I show up for my business. And I learned from this. It's not a waste. It's not a loss. I learned from it. I grew from it, but I felt frustrated about it. And the thing that actually really got me was I was scrolling through my camera, my photo album in my phone. I have over 100,000 photos and videos on my phone. It's insane. But I like to scroll through there and I like to look back, and I do a lot of affiliate marketing. So I was looking for videos that I took in the past that I can use on my Like to Know It. And side note, go check out my Like to Know It. That's where I post all of my everything I wear, everything I use, all my favorite things are all posted on Like to Know It. And my handle on there is at One Girl Travel. So that's where I link everything. But I was going through my videos and I found these videos from 2020 and I was looking at them. I'm like, look how good these videos are. Look how good. Those videos were awesome. And that was 2020. That was before a lot of this technology took place. That was before trends. I was doing it back then. But it's one thing to do it. It's another thing to share it. And I didn't share that content. And it just is living in my phone this tomb of greatness. There's so many great things that I haven't shared because I didn't feel like they were good enough, or I didn't feel like they were relevant, or they weren't on brand, and all these rules I made up for myself of why I shouldn't or can't. And I should have just did it. I should have just posted it because that's what I tell my clients. That's what I tell myself. I know that, Nobody starts off as an expert without we're all beginners, that it's going to be messy and to do it anyway. And I live by those rules for the most part. But when it comes to myself and when it comes to my business, because I put such a big emphasis on this, like, if you're not unfamiliar with my story, I resigned from my 14-year corporate career in January 2024. So I am a full-time business owner, full-time entrepreneur, and it is my first time being an entrepreneur. And I'm figuring it out as I go. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. And that pressure has prevented me to show up because I had doubts and fears. And again, it's that cycle that doesn't serve me and it doesn't serve you if you're going through this. And it's a matter of just showing up anyway and not worrying about how it performs or not worrying about if it's right. There is no right. We make the rules. We get to decide what's right. What's right for right now. It's always changing. We're evolving. We're human. Nothing is just this rule on how you show up for your life. You make the rules for yourself. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You don't have to compare yourself. Like, it is so easy to compare yourself, especially with social media. You see what other people are doing, and you don't know how long they've been doing it for. The people that you admire on social media, you might want to be like them, but they've been doing it for 10 years. They've put in that work. The people that you see go viral on TikTok for like silly videos that might not make sense to you, they're blowing up because they're showing up. That's the difference here. It's one thing to be great at what you do and do it and research and all the things and have all this knowledge. It's another thing to actually share it and show up and present it to the world. Nobody knows what you're doing unless you share it with them. So it doesn't matter how much work you're doing behind the scenes. If you're not showing up, what's the point? So if you have this dream or these goals or things that you want to be doing, and you've been doing the work, you've been looking things up, you've been setting up the foundation, but you haven't shared it, you haven't told anybody about it, you haven't posted it, that's the problem. You have to show up for yourself. You are worthy of showing up for yourself. You're capable of showing up for yourself. And you deserve to show up for yourself, even if it's messy, even if you don't feel like it's good enough, just do it anyway. Because it's all about the experience. It's all just a process. And it's just like enough is enough with this. Just show up anyway. Stop comparing yourself. Stop allowing your emotions to last so long that it affects how you're showing up in your life. And I am ready to just show up and do the things and share with you everything. I'll just share it all because who knows? When I started this business with One Girl Travel, it was solo travel focused life coaching. I wanted to help women, especially, feel comfortable traveling by themselves. And then it grew organically into me becoming a social media consultant. I have been hired to be the expert on video editing in the School of Content Marketing, host workshops teaching people how to create social media content. I work one-on-one with clients on how to build their brands and show up online. But I don't talk about that because I didn't feel like it was in alignment with my brand. And I've mentioned this before on this podcast, but I'm helping people. And it doesn't matter if I'm helping people with solo travel or I'm helping them with social media, I'm still helping and I still have a message to share. And I can't let, the insecurities and the uncertainties prevent me from showing up because it's not about me. It's about you. It's about the community. It's about helping others. To get over yourself to help other people, right? But just know that it's natural to have those doubts and those fears, but you have to get over it if this is what you want to do. So now that I got all that out of the way, let's talk about how we can navigate understanding our emotions and then moving forward despite them. So let's get into that. So the first thing is when you're feeling an emotion come up, I want you to stop and name that emotion. When you're feeling frustrated, allow yourself, like before you try to push past it, stop and just let yourself be aware. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling frustrated because I didn't show up for my newsletter. I didn't write the newsletter on time. So I'm frustrated. And neuroscience shows that when you label your emotions, it actually reduces their intensity because it's activating your rational brain instead of your reactive one. So take a moment to just name the feeling, name that emotion. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling anxious. And then remind yourself that that emotion does not define you. The next thing is allowing yourself to feel that emotion without the attachment. So instead of judging how you're feeling, like, I shouldn't feel this way, or feeding it like, okay, I feel frustrated and now everything's ruined because of it. Just allow that emotion to exist. Give it permission just to simply exist. And then ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to tell me? And is this based on fact or is it fear? Think of that emotion as just like this cloud that's lingering. It's present, but eventually it's going to pass. It's there, but eventually it is going to just go away. And that in itself just feels so much better. It feels like hope. It just feels like something like it's not impacting me forever. It's impacting me in this moment, and then I'm going to move on from it. So the next thing is to shift into observation mode. And this is where you're going to create distance from that emotion. And the way you do that is paying attention to what you're telling yourself. So instead of saying, I'm sad, you can say to yourself, a part of me feels sad right now. When you say, I'm sad, that defines you. I'm sad. Now I embody sadness. But when you say, a part of me feels sad right now, that's letting you know, like, it is not all consuming. A piece of you feels sad right now. It's not going to last forever, but in this moment, you feel sadness, and that's okay. And what that does, it allows you to take a step back from identifying yourself as the emotion, and it steps you back into your role as the observer of the emotion. The next tip I have for you is to ground yourself in the moment. And what I mean by that is to do something physical to bring yourself back into your body. You can take 5 slow breaths when you're feeling an emotion come up for you. You can touch something that's textured, whether it's a piece of clothing, something on your desk, just to bring yourself back to reality. You can look around you and name 5 things that you see in the moment. Do whatever is right for you to just bring yourself back and to ground yourself and not feel overwhelmed by the emotion, because this is going to anchor you into the present rather than spiraling into the story behind that emotion. And finally, my last tip is to choose an aligned response. So once you process the feeling, decide your next move with intention. So what you can say to yourself is, given how I feel and what I value, what's one grounded action that I can take now? And this might be journaling or taking a walk, calling your best friend, refocusing on your work. For me, something that's really helped is art. I have brought art back into my life and it feels so good. That's something that truly links me to my inner child. It's something I've enjoyed my entire life, and it's something that really grounds me and brings me back to myself. So identify what that is for you. And the key with this is to act from clarity and not reaction. Because when you're feeling all these emotions, it's easy to be reactive. And that reaction to it can lead to inaction. And that's what happened in my case. I would react to the emotion by telling myself that I'm not good enough. This sucks. Nobody wants this. Like, you're irrelevant. Like, these are all the things I was telling myself. And when I told myself those things, it led to me not showing up. And so instead of saying all these things, which I know aren't true, if I really stop to think about it, I know they're not true. But it felt true in the moment because I was reacting from my emotion. So it's so important to just stop and just really figure out, okay, I feel this way now in this moment. But what's something that I can do to help me just ground myself and feel better and kind of just move on from this, reconnect with who I am, realize that this is not all encompassing and that I will get over it. So now that we have our framework, I created this emotional reset ritual that will take about 3 to 5 minutes. And I want you to use this when you feel an emotion come up for you, how it impacts your thoughts and your feelings, and also how you're showing up. So let's go through the emotional reset ritual. So the first thing I want you to do is pause and name the emotion. Just stop what you're doing, take one deep breath in through your nose, and exhale slowly through your mouth. Say out loud if you can, right now I'm feeling blank emotion, and that's okay. So an example of this would be, right now I'm feeling anxious, and that's okay. It's just a signal. It's not a sentence. The next step is to feel it without feeding it. Just close your eyes and locate where your feeling lives in your body. Is it in your chest, in your throat, in your stomach? Breathe deeply into that space. Don't try to change it. Just allow it to exist there. And say to yourself, this is what emotion feels like. It's temporary, and I'm safe to feel it. And the goal with this is to witness that emotion instead of becoming that emotion. Okay, the next thing I want you to do is ground back into the present. So use your senses to come back to your body. And you can do that by naming 3 things that you can see. Name 2 things that you can touch. And name 1 thing that you can hear. And this is a light version of the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. And it makes an impact. And when you do this, I want you to also take 1 slow, steady inhale and exhale and let your shoulders drop, unclench your jaw, and just be present into what's going on around you. The next thing is reframe and redirect. Ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to show me? What matters most right now? And then I want you to choose 1 action that honors your future self. So you can say to yourself, I'm choosing to respond with clarity, not emotion. And my next aligned step is blank. And this could be getting back to work, stepping outside for air, journaling, or sending the message that you were avoiding, or in my case, writing the newsletter. And finally, I want you to anchor in. Finish all this with a grounding affirmation to close the loop. And you can say, I can feel deeply and move forward powerfully. My emotions are valid, but they don't control me. I'm calm, centered, and back in alignment. So the next time that you're feeling these powerful emotions that feel like they're just overtaking you, use the emotional reset ritual. Allow yourself to identify, name, and ground yourself, and then allow yourself to move forward from it, because it does not have to take over you. You are in control. You get to decide how you move forward. Give yourself more credit and allow yourself to show up exactly where you are in this moment. Stop waiting for things to be perfect. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting for other people. Just start taking action now. Show up for yourself. Show up for your dreams, because you're worth the effort. Your dreams are worth the effort. And you are going to be so proud of yourself for taking action. And I am proud of you. I'm proud of myself for finally showing up. And it's just forward from here. We're just moving forward now. And that's exciting. So I thank you for being here with me. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it so much. And I am excited for what's going to come in the future. I've already mapped out my 2026. I have a lot of exciting things to share with you. So now I get to focus on that and focus on you. And the next episode is going to be episode 100. Finally made it 100. So stay tuned.
Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of the One Girl Travel Podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can find out more about your host on our website, onegirltravel.com, or follow her on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and TikTok. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next episode.